Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and trying something a little bit different. And what I'm trying is that since the month of October is coming upon us, that, starting off late September to the end of October, whenever I review something, see what it looks like reviewing in the dark, sort of to get in the mood of the Halloween season, even if I'm not reviewing horror films per se, but feel a little bit different with lighting, see how it goes. Now, DMC, very nice guy, was nice enough to send me some American Ninja films on Blu-ray. So I figured, you know what? Let me check these out, and I wanted to do another review of these. I know I've reviewed these films before, but least I can do from sending me these Blu-rays to talk about these films again. The first one being American Ninja. The deadliest art of the East is now in the hands of an American. Michael Dudikoff, Steve James, directed by Sam Firstenberg, on a Blu-ray by Olive Films. I will say right off the bat, it's the best I've seen the movie look on Blu-ray. I thought the picture quality was pretty decent. Feature-wise, you have a decent commentary with the director, Sam Firstenberg, and you have another guy, producer Elijah Drenner, who is the moderator, asking him questions. They did decent commentary, a lot of information. If you know American Ninja, you've heard of before, but Sam Firstenberg seems like a very nice guy and gives a decent amount of info. Including a nice little story where the director and Michael Dudikoff actually saved a little girl who was drowning in a pool. And they went in and saved the girl, and the girl's alive to this. Well, they're not sure where, how she's doing nowadays, but I thought that was a nice little story. The making of, about 22 minutes long. It's a decent making of. It's alright. You did Sam Firstenberg, the director. You did Michael Dudikoff. You did Judy Aronson, who is the female lead in this. You did stunt coordinator Steve Lambert, and you did screenwriter Paul Demichi. And it's an alright making of. Info you've heard before. This was originally supposed to be a Chuck Norris film. Then the rumor is that Chuck Norris didn't want to do it because he figured he would have his face covered for most of the film, which is not the case because that's not what happens with Dudikoff. He doesn't have his face covered for most of the film, just bits of the finale. But maybe that was like the original script, and so Chuck Norris went on to do other stuff. And they went and found this guy, Michael Dudikoff, and this launched his career. I mean, Dudikoff had done other stuff before. He had done a film called Radioactive Dreams, which I remember nothing about. He had done bit parts. I think he had done a bit part in Bachelor Party by that point, among other stuff. But this was definitely the film that launched him into more of a career and success. And Judy Aronson, she mentions about how, I believe, when she was a kid, she was friend with Menahem Golan's daughter. So that was interesting. Judy Aronson, everybody says very nice things about Michael Dudikoff, and it's sort of a basic 20-some minute making of. It's there. So the making of and the commentary, decent. Picture quality's good. Definitely looks a lot better than my DVD. So, an alright DVD. I mean, alright Blu-ray. I liked it, again, because it's the best I've seen the film look. And the film itself, fun, 80s action movie. My favorite is actually the second one, The Confrontation, because I'll go more in depth when I talk about that, but Steve James, really miss the guy. He's a big part of why I enjoy these movies, particularly the first three is for Steve James, and he has much more of an impact in the second film. Here he's just edit once in a blue moon, sort of sporadically, but he has a bigger role to play in the second film. It just seemed like he had more screen time. I thought the score for the second film was better. The score in this is alright. If I did understand if someone said the score, and I hate using the word cheesy, but I can understand it if they use it for American Ninja. That main thing, that trumpet, dun 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 dun. Like that part of the theme. I can understand if someone calls that cheesy, and if you know me, I hate using the word cheesy. Like the story to the second film, I think is really badass. Sort of that electric guitar, sort of badass of George S. Clinton's music. But the score here is decent. They use parts of Revenge of the Ninjas score, and they also use parts of the Missing in Action score. What makes the film work is it's a fast-paced film. Sam Firstenberg says something very interesting in one of the commentaries. I'm not sure if it's this or the second film, where a lot of these movies would have a lot of action because people would go into it expecting a lot of action. But it seems like nowadays, it's almost as if people get screwed out of that. They get ripped off because they're going to see an action movie and they get this much action. And he's on the money for that. Sam Firstenberg, again, I forget which commentary he said, but he's on the money for that. And Michael Dudikoff, I like his presence. He's sort of got that, a lot of people say James Dean, but to me a little bit of young Clint Eastwood, sort of that squinty-eyed, has sort of that calm demeanor, sort of plays it off cool, not overbearing, not over the top, not trying to overdo it, just playing calm, cool, collected. So, his name's Joe Armstrong. Like, he has a good, easygoing, downplayed persona. Again, sort of that squinty-eyed, cool factor. Even in the beginning when he's playing with a switchblade, he's sort of a loner type of character. We find out that his character had amnesia, lost his memory, and so he only knows bits and pieces of his childhood. He's in the army. This was filmed in the Philippines, so they use that to their advantage. And he's part of this convoy, which also has the colonel's daughter, which is Judy Aronson, who you may remember from Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. She was the one in the boat, naked, face down, who gets stabbed through. I believe she was in Weird Science as well. I could be wrong, but I think she was one of the girls that the two guys liked in Weird Science. Again, I could absolutely be wrong, but I do know she was in Friday the 13th Part 4. She does fine in the role. And this convoy gets hijacked, and Joe and the army beat these guys' ass. You know, Joe's throwing shit at the guy's face. And one thing I noticed in this one is Michael Dudikoff was not a martial artist. He was a dancer, so he could mimic stuff. It seemed like in the second film he was much more comfortable in martial arts, because in the second film you saw much more kicks as well as punches, much more of a moveset in martial arts, while here it's your basic, either handling a sword later on, or basic punches, or using opponent's force to take the guy down. It works for the film, but that's one of the reasons, again, that I like the second film more, and it's my favorite, is Michael Dudikoff seems like he has a little bit more handle, and of course it's because there's more time in between this one and the second film. He's had more experience. I think in between he did Avenging Force, which is another good one. I reviewed that. I believe I did, and that's on my channel. That's a good one that Sam Firstenberg did with Michael Dudikoff and Steve James. That's one I warmed up to throughout the years. And you have some fun stuff. Hits this guy who falls on this pickaxe, and then ninjas come out and kill a lot of the army guys except Joe and Judy Aronson's character. And Joe takes like this handle of a shovel and blocks all these arrows, and then takes one, just breaks it right in front of the bad guy. I believe his character's name is the Black Star Ninja. And at this point in time, ninjas were not a common thing in American movies. I mean, You had Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, Ninja 3 The Domination. But this is sort of when ninjas is sort of get into the American format. Even martial arts were not a big thing unless you count Bruce Lee films that were carried over from overseas to show in the US, and seeing kung fu movies and sort of 42nd Street Forever type of movie theaters. I mean, hell, this was 85, and 86 you would have Big Trouble in Little China. They didn't have ninjas that was, dealing with kung fu and Chinese magic. But what I'm saying is, nowadays, you have Ninja Turtles, you have other stuff going on. Here, it wasn't a dime a dozen to have a ninja movie. It's like, oh yeah, why not have a guy who's a white guy who... American Ninja is a good title for a film and just works for the flick. So pretty much what happens is he escapes with Judy Aronson, then just try to go after them. He kicks some ass, they escape. And even after escaping, he gets a court-martial. Men in the unit hate him because they think was just trying to impress the girl, and it's like he's trying to do the right thing, so they treat him like shit even though he did the right thing. You should just let... And of course, he found out later on that the colonel was a bad guy, and other people are bad guys, and most of the people are assholes. Just a lot of fun 80s stuff. The ninja training camp, and Steve James as Jackson, who again, he's not in the film too much. He's in it once in a while. When he shows up, he's great to watch. I really miss the guy. He always had a good charisma and sense of humor, and it just would have been so nice to see many more kinds of movies from him. But he passed away early on from cancer. I'm not sure what form of cancer. I believe his wife passed away as well, which is really too bad. I mean, that would have been awesome if he was still with us and to get interviews with him for these films. But Michael Dudikoff has a fun little fight with Steve James, and Dudikoff is kind of playing with him in a bit. He even puts a bucket on his head. Hey, I can't see anything come at me, and he's able to disarm Steve James. And they sort of quickly form a bond. And they have some good chemistry with each other. Steve James has some good lines. You may have kicked my ass, but you didn't make me blind. Because he knows that Dudikoff has a thing for Judy Aronson and vice versa. And they have some fun back and forth. That's definitely one of the best parts of these first two movies. And does he see Judy Aronson? You have that scene where he's on a motorcycle and does his jump. And then you get a little bit of lovey-dovey stuff, which I will miss. Really not the most interesting part of the film for me. I know Sam Firstenberg, his favorite is the first one. He said the first one was so successful because it was a love story. No, it was because it was a ninja movie with Michael Dudikoff, who's actually he's a good choice for an action lead. He has that cool, calm presence to him. He has a good look to him. He can pull moves off decent. I mean, he's not Steven Seagal, early Seagal, or Van Damme, or Jeff Speakman, but he can pull them off fine when it's just okay to punch in and this and that. And he's not that bad of an actor. And Steve James works, and it's a fast-paced film, and you put a lot of action in it. Put some gunfire at the end, fisticuffs, swordplay, chase scenes with cars, vehicles, explosions, sort of the canon way. And I think people miss that. They miss just simple, fun, straightforward movies. At least the people I know. Maybe not the general public, but the people I know miss that stuff. Like he's reported to the motor pool and drive the truck in this warehouse. There's all these ninjas in the warehouse, and he's fucking them up left and right. He's fucking up with swords. You have a scene shot in silhouette, and ninjas just didn't throw them through windows. He has these two swords, and he throws them, and they both fly into the ninja's chest. Chases the guy, gets in the guy's sidecar, kicks the guy, makes the guy in the sidecar crash into a truck on a motorcycle, chasing the guy in the truck, and that's when the missing action music plays from Chuck Norris's film. Gets in the front, hides under the truck, so like a little bit of Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark type of stuff. Finds out a little bit more of what's going on, gets back, gets arrested. The Black Star Ninja tries to kill him. Actually, for those who know martial arts, Richard Norton is in this. I believe he was one of the fight doubles, or I think one of the fight doubles of Michael Dudikoff. And in that scene, the ninja kills Richard Norton, who's like one of the MPs. And that's the thing, it doesn't slow down. Okay, trying to kill Michael Dudikoff escapes. Then he has a fight with the Black Star Ninja, then on top of tanks. And then you have a little bit of dialogue where Judy Aronson convinces Dudikoff, hey, talk to her dad, the colonel. Steve James is fun. Why don't you go over there and kick some ass, sir? And then realizes that the colonel is in lead with the bad guys, and Joe escapes and kills Mr. Otmonic. For those who don't know, I'm a big fan of the TV show Elf, and on that show, one of the neighbors was Mr. Otmonic, and that guy is one of the assholes in this movie. You have like the colonel, and then the colonel's sort of sidekick, and the sidekick is like, there's Mr. Otmonic, the neighbor from Elf, and Joe hits him, and that'd be funny if someone took like Project Elf, which takes place on a military base, and if there was a scene where Elf was driving, have him kill Mr. Otmonic, because Joe hits him in the truck, and the truck explodes. One of those things where it just kind of softly hits a tree and it explodes, but that's how it was in the 80s. If you sneeze, there's an explosion. And Steve meets the guy who taught him when he was a kid. And I always remember the sort of the moves, like the Jin, Ritsu, Sai, Zen, the Kobadera, ninja magic. It's fun stuff. It's entertaining stuff. And you have the sword fight at the end with ninjas. Now, maybe a lot of this was not Dudikoff, like dealing with the swords. That might have been a fight double. Maybe that was Richard Norton or someone else. I don't know. I have a feeling Michael Dudikoff didn't do most of those sword fighting scenes. I don't know. Maybe because of danger, because they didn't want Dudikoff to get hurt, because he wasn't, a big trained martial artist. And they just cover him with a mask. So. And then the military comes in, and Steve James, like he's Rambo, he's even got the bandanas on the back of a Jeep. And the other guy driving, I'm taking this bitch uptown. Take me home, baby. Oh, man. And I realized in this film, Steve James does not fight any of the ninjas. Which that was another fun thing of the second film. He actually got to fight some ninjas here. Only people he fights is just because there's ninjas, and then there's just regular bad guys like military. And he only fights those guys. Like he fights a bigger guy, which is funny because he punches and there's no effect. He's like, oh shit. And then hits him and grabs him. He's like, how you like that, numbnuts? And just grabbing the guy in the crotch. And he gets beat up, and then Steve James kicks his ass. And the whole time Michael Dudikoff is kicking ass, fighting the Black Star Ninja, and they like throwing all this stuff, flames and ninja stars, and the bad guy even has a laser at one point. And then they find this little pond type of thing, and Michael Dudikoff's able to slice the guy right up here. It's not gory or anything. You see a little bit of blood, but it's not gory. Like Revenge of the Ninja is definitely bloodier than this. I think, that was on purpose. But kills the ninja and tries to get in front of this chopper to save Judy Aronson. Rescues the girl. Steve James blows up the helicopter with the other big bad guy with the big rocket launcher thing. And pretty much the movie ends. The score is not the best. It's there. It's all right. But the score of the second one I thought was better. Steve James would have wished to have seen more of him, which was nice in the second film to see more of Steve James. And Michael Dudikoff, you tell that his martial arts was not hugely trained, because when you see Dudikoff, he's usually just doing a lot of punches. But he's good at that, and good at mimicking movements that were taught to him. But I'm just saying, you're not going to get a lot of punch. You're not going to get a lot of kicks and roundhouse kicks and all that sort of thing. But it served the film. But yeah, other than that, it's entertaining, it's fun, it's fast-paced. Dudikoff has a good presence to him. Steve James, when he's there, is fun. Judy Aronson, I liked her as an actress. I mean, the love story isn't really the most interesting, but it's also not cringe-inducing or god-awful or anything. But I'm sorry, Sam Firstenberg, the people did not see American Ninja before the love story. Just a fun slice of 80s action movie, American Ninja. And like I said, the Blu-ray's a pretty decent Blu-ray. At least have the film in really good picture quality. 1:5 aspect ratio, mono. 96 minutes long from 1985. So, just some thoughts on American Ninja. And stay tuned for some of my thoughts on American Ninja 2, The Confrontation. See you in a bit.